All right, so hopefully you did not forget everything you learned last week. I know the break was only 3 days, but some of you forget how to add and subtract in 3 days. I know. I know. See, no one even said someone's name, and she's like, ah. So 2x minus 10 equals 50, right? And we know that we have steps, right? The first one is to add or subtract. It's subtracting, so we must add to both sides 10. Here's another thing that I want you to notice. The number has to be the same, but the signs have to be different. If they are, then you can eliminate them, right? Like each is 0. Bring down to 2x, and then 50 plus 10 is 60. Now the second step says you either multiply or divide. Right now it's multiplying, then we divide then, right? Divided by 2, that gives me 1x, and that'll be 30. And that's it. Now we go back to make sure that the answer is correct to check it. 2 times 30 is 60. Plus 10, wait, not plus. Minus 10, that is 50. So my answer is correct. Every time that you get this kind of things, you need to go back and check it. All right, the next one is negative 4n plus 4 equals 20. So minus 4, right? Because you have to do the opposite. The signs have to be different. Eliminate that. You bring down the negative 4n equals 16. The second step says to multiply or divide. It's multiplying, so we do the opposite, right? Notice how I divide by the entire number, negative 4, not just 4. That allows me to give me 1, so I only get 1n. And on this one, the second step, you must refer back to the poster that says, if the signs are the same, you get a positive answer. If the signs are different, you get a negative answer. Are those the same or different? They're different, right? The 16 is positive, the 4 is negative. Therefore, your answer is negative. 16 divided by 4 is just 4. Are you following? The answer is negative 4. If you did not put the negative on it, then it's incorrect. So we'll go back and check it. Negative 4 times negative 4, what do we get? Nope. If the signs are the same, we get a positive answer, right? So you positive 16 plus 4, that's 20. So that is correct. No, it's plus. The next one. We get x over 5 plus 6 equals 2. So again, we add or subtract for the first step, and we're going to put 6. In this situation, I want you to remember the boy-girl situation, right? We have 2 girls, because they're positive 2, 2 girls and 6 boys. Who is left without a pair? I want you to, hang on, stop. I think you're getting confused without even thinking about the boy-girl situation. I'm going to use common sense. I have 2 girls and 6 boys. When I pair them up, who's left alone? 4 boys, right? The boys are negatives. I ask you to use this method because it works even if you don't think about it. You just use common sense, right? But some of you are still stuck with it. I think it's just negative 4 or negative 6. No, it's not. All right. What is this minus? Who approved it? All right. The next step is to divide or multiply. What is it doing now? It's dividing, so you must multiply. When you multiply by 5, that goes away, and you end up with x by itself. And 4 times positive, negative 4 times positive 5, what do you get? Negative 20. Because the signs are different, you get negative. And that's it. You can put it on top of over there. Negative 20 divided by 5. What is it? Negative 4, right? Plus 6? 2. Positive 2. I know. All right, the next one. 3z minus 2 equals 16. So when we're adding and subtracting, instead of subtracting, we do the opposite, right? Signs are different, that's so you know. Eliminate them. You get 3z equals, that is 18, correct? The second step says you multiply or divide. It's multiplying, so we do the opposite, right? We divide by 3 on both sides. That will give me 1z, a 1z, and then 6 right there. I just thought of the word 1z. All right, the next one, 8k plus 2 equals 50. Again, the first step is to add or subtract. So we're going to subtract 2 from both sides, right? I wish that your stands are different, so you can eliminate them. 8k equals 48. And the second step, we divide by 8, correct? Like you see 1k, and then I get 6, and the answer is 6. That's it. That was pretty easy, right? Just a little refresher for whatever you skipped. So now that we know that, I'm going to have to introduce you to these little things right here. Can somebody tell me why we call these on top equations? Why do we call them an equation? What? Well, other stuff have numbers and symbols too. We don't call them equations. They equal something. I'm gonna use that one and enhance it. It has an equal sign. That's it. In this situation, it means like 8k plus 2 equals 50. That's what we call it equation. Because it equals, each side is equal to each other. Side A is equal to side B. On this week's lessons, you're going to learn about inequalities. That means that we're not talking about equal signs anymore. We're talking about greater than, less than, or greater than, equals to, less than, or equal to. So I know that some of you have trouble understanding these signs, and you don't know which one's which. Well, here's what I did. I turned them into little arrows. Which way is this one going? To the right. On a number line, when you go to the right, what's happening? You're increasing, right? You're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We can say that if the arrow is going to the right, the arrow means it's greater than. If the arrow is going to the left, then what does it mean? Less than. Notice this part that at the bottom right here, it creates an equal sign. Yes, that means that it's greater than or equals to whatever is on the other side. And this right here will be less than or equals to whatever is before that. And that's it. Please do not forget those. I want you to understand that this week's lessons are going to be basically the same thing that we did last week, but now you're going to have to decide which sign you're going to use for the equation, for the inequality that you create. You're going to have a bunch of word problems. You're going to find y, you're going to find m, you're going to find b, and by now that's easy. You got it. I think the problem will be like you won't know which sign to use unless you really understand the problem. So make sure that you pay attention and you're following. That is on page 257, but we're going to go to 256, I believe. Yeah, 256. 256. Huh? All right. So I'm going to have Andrea read the problem for me. Go ahead. Loud. I want Steven to hear you. Who's way over there? I can't hear you. So now that we all read it, you can probably find B, M, and Y. But I bet you're going to have a very difficult time without going any farther understanding which sign you're going to use, which inequality you're going to use, right? What is Y?
Two, 29,020.
Yes, that is a total, right? That is the height goal. So 29,029 feet. That's Y, right? Oops. What is B?
The 18,400.
18,460, right? What is M?
Six.
6 days, right? And then X. Notice that these are feet, and whatever we put in X are also going to be feet. We know that they're already at 18,000 plus feet, right? We know what our goal is, right? To reach 29,000, correct? Now, we don't know on average, how many we have to climb in the next 6 days. That's the part that is very, very important. We got the numbers in the right place, but how do we know if I'm going to use this one, this one, this one, or this one? Can somebody give you an idea? Here's the thing, guys, and let me make this very, very, very clear. This week, all of them are going to be word problems, and you have to understand what the problem is about in order for you to determine which one you're going to use. Because if you don't know what he's talking about, there's no way you can get it right. There's just no way. You need to understand what the problem is about. So can somebody tell me a quick summary? What is it about? Yes. Anybody else? What is the problem talking about?
Oh, it's talking about like how high they can get.
Okay.
That
Okay. Go ahead.
uh, team group of team is at 18,460 feet and are trying to get to 29,029 feet within 6 days.
Yes. Okay. So here's the thing. This is side A, and this is side B. Here's what that means. I need you to understand that part. Whatever you get here, and I'm not talking about just 18,000, 18,000 plus whatever is right here, it has to be something to that. It has to be greater than, less than, greater than or equals to, less than or equals to, whatever is right there. Using common sense, what do you think you're going to use? Why greater or equal to? But you also said greater than. Go ahead. Why can it be less than?
Because it's right.
Do, do what?
Trying to get to a higher point.
That's right. They want to reach that point, right? If they want to reach that point, then whatever you put inside A cannot be less than that. Because otherwise you're not reaching it, right? That means you have to get to that point or higher, and then you get to go. So we would put greater than or equals to 29,029 feet. That's how we determine it. But you have to understand what they're talking about. Otherwise, this will make absolutely no sense. And you're going to get every single one of them wrong because you can't just create the equation anymore. You have to make sense of it. Let's do a couple more. This one right here. The 45 members of the Glee Club are trying to raise $60,000 so they can compete in a state championship. They already have $1,240. What inequality can you write to find the amount each member must raise on average to meet the goal?
Wait, are we trying to find? Are we trying to find?
We're still trying to find Y, B, M, but now we're adding that particular component of the inequality. So tell me from here, Andrea, what is M? Guys, you got to stay on it. You got to stay on it. I know you're sleepy or blah, 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 but if you don't catch it now, you're going to lose me for the entire week. Yes. 45. Thank you. Uh, Ricardo, what is B? Yes. Steven, what is Y? 6,000. All right, so we have M 45x, right? Plus 1,240 something 6,000. This should be a little more clear. Y greater or equals to?
Because it's just like the mountain climber. They're trying to get to the certain point greater than or at least 6,000.
Yes.
Greater than 6,000 or
It has to be at least 6,000 or more, right? So they have to reach that $6,000 mark. That means whatever you get from the from side A has to be greater than or equals to 6,000. Are we all following? Good. Now let's do number 4 on your own. Go. Okay, so let's identify what is which. What is 40? The total, right? Notice I always put a box in there to remind me that I need to put. I'll fix that later. What is $6? That's B, right? That's the flat fee. And then what is 3? M, right? Notice that 40 and 6 and 3, it's all money. I'm not mixing members and this and that. They're all talking about money. How much am I going to spend? And you said less than or equals to 40. Can somebody explain besides you? Can somebody explain, and you, why? Yes. Perfect. Perfect explanation. She only has $40 to spend. Nothing more than that. So whatever you get on side A can be less than or equal to $40, but no more than that, right? That's what I'm talking about. You have to. Oh, that's not it. You have to understand the problem before you try to solve it. Because if you don't know what the problem is talking about, you will have no idea what to put on there. How do you feel about it? Easy? I think it's probably like trying to understand which sign to use is going to be probably the most difficult part. Because everything else is you should know how to do already. Let's do number 5 and 6, and I'll allow you to select either or, but I need you to give me make up a story using those numbers. Yes. Not yet. That's not your homework. All right, so the Booster Club needs to raise at least $7,000 for new football uniforms. So far, they have raised $1,250. Write an inequality to find the average amount each of the 92 members can raise to meet the club's objectives.
So Y is 7,000, B is 1,250, what things?
I love that. You see how you automatically see what belongs where, what goes where? This is good. Because at the beginning, that would be my biggest worry, that you don't know how to put what. But now you have, it's fast. I think the only problem is like, well, what do I use? But if you know there's a story, side A has to be something to side B. What do you think it is?
I think it's less than or equal to. No, I think it's greater than.
Why do you think it's greater than or equal to?
Because it has to be.
Think about it. The story. The story. Why can it be less than 7,000? Hang on.
They need at least like it has to be at least 7,000 because if they get less, then they can't.
Yes. If they get less than 7,000, they won't be able to buy the uniforms. They need at least $7,000 or more, right? So that means that this side has to be greater than or equals to 7,000, correct? Every time you see the word at least, that means it can be more or equals to. So when I ask you, when you go to the fair and they say you have to be at least 5 feet tall, if you're 5 feet tall, you can't get in, right? But you have to be at least 5 or above. That's what it means. When you hear the word the most or at most, that means you can only go up to that amount, nothing above that amount.
That's the highest point.
Or when they say no more than 30, that means you can go up to 30, but no more than that. So 30 or less, right? Listen to the wording. It's very tricky in a way, but it's really not. Do you have any questions? No? No. All right, let's do number 7 together. And this whole page is going to be your, your homework. Pay attention so at least you have one right. in case you completely lose it. Here we go. Don't worry, I'll wait until you're all done. When the bell rings, we're not done with it. All right. Three friends earn more than $200 washing cars. They paid their parents $28 for supplies and divided the rest of the money equally. Write an inequality to find the possible amounts each friend earned. Identify what your variable represents. So what is what here?
200 is Y.
Uh-huh.
28 is B, and then
Is 28 positive or negative?
oh, that's wait. No, it's negative because they gave away.
Because they paid, right? Paid. That means it's negative. Good job. So what is M? 3 right here. 3 friends. 3 friends, right? 200 is money, 28 is money, and X is money, right? X represents how much each of them are getting. So what do you think it's going to be?
Wait.
There's a keyword in there. There's a keyword in there. Why is it greater than?
Equally.
More than, right? It says more than. 3 friends earned more than that. So that means whatever you get here has to be greater than that. Not equal to, just more than. If I say I want more than 2 kids in a room, I don't mean 2 kids, right? I said I mean more than 2, so 3, 4, 5, right?
Do we have to put a box around it?
Yes, put a box around it because that's what tells me that you're doing it in order. And that should be it. The whole page is going to be your homework. It's going to be the same format. I will not be able to get on Edmodo. I'll post the video, but I will not be able to get on Edmodo today because I have a few things to do. So please refer back to your notes because I probably won't be able to answer.